Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and while Jasmine Crockett sticks her foot squarely in her mouth, Marjorie Taylor Greene plays a video that shows that yes, there are differences between men and women. The room fell silent after this one. Let's dive in.
It is so interesting that I just learned today at 44 years old that the Republicans are going to be the ones to save women. The same Republicans that have been, say, for women's reproductive acts, or the same Republicans that have stood for the Equal Rights Act, which would hopefully get women to equal pay, or the same Republicans that just this Congress voted for the SAVE Act, which we know would disenfranchise women from even being able to vote. Congressional Republicans have been working to execute one of the most aggressive anti-women legislative agendas in history, and yet they're here today trying to convince the American people that discriminating against trans people is somehow the only way to protect women. This hearing has nothing to do with improving government efficiency. It's another attempt by Republicans to distract from their demonic and disastrous policies that are making it more difficult for Americans to make ends meet. And instead, we playing these crazy games because we worried about 10 trans folk that are in sports right now in college. I wasn't elected to be engaged in these fights. I was elected to make sure that those kids, the kids that they are about to neglect with these terrible votes that they're about to take, I was elected to protect them and to make sure that they could grow up and have all the opportunities. But let's keep on track.
A New York Times Ipsos poll this past January found 94% of Republicans, 67% of Democrats, and 64% of independents agree. Keep men out of women's sports. Americans also reelected President Trump in November, and he spoke on their behalf in February when he issued his executive order keeping men out of women's sports. The United States is hosting the Summer Games in Los Angeles in 2028. It's a great time for us to once again take the lead in protecting and preserving the ability of women to engage in safe, fair athletic competition by keeping biological men out of women's sports. A United Nations report issued last August, most noted female athletes worldwide have lost out on numerous medal opportunities. Due to policies allowing males to compete in the women's category, more than 600 female athletes in more than 400 competitions have lost more than 890 medals in 29 different sports. I don't want any more women missing out on medal opportunities, avoiding athletic competitions, or missing out on college scholarships. And I don't want to see any more girls or women getting hurt. We cannot and should not forget the gruesome injury suffered by one of our witnesses here today, Peyton McNabb. It happened when she was spiked in the head by a male athlete who identified as a transgender woman. And I'd like to ask the digital team to please play this video now. That is sick. This is why I look forward to fighting and winning the battle to keep men out of women's sports alongside President Trump and brave women like Stephanie and Peyton who are here today. Now you're going to hear from our Democrat colleagues who are going to fight for these mentally ill biological men to continue beating women and stealing their competitions, stealing their medals, and stealing their national championships.
How difficult is it for people to just have an honest conversation about the sheer differences between male and female bodies? First off, if someone passes on and they're put into the grave and 100 years later some archaeologists show up, they'll be able to understand who is male and who is female by hip size. Quite literally, that's how they do it. Your DNA matters. Those chromosomes, having that Y chromosome compared to two X chromosomes, that kind of matters. And see, that means male bodies are going to have higher levels of testosterone. That's why we're a little more aggressive. We have more muscle mass. We're generally taller. Our reflexes are faster. Our eyesight's technically better. This is evolution in process. And so when someone decides, you know what, I was born in the wrong body and I'm going to play in women's sports, I have a fundamental problem with that, particularly if you've gone through puberty. Your body is going to be fundamentally different from the girls' bodies, and you saw it on full display in that short video clip. Even people like Serena and Venus Williams, two of some of the best female athletes perhaps in world history, they understood that the 200 level, maybe even 500 level of male tennis player could probably beat them one-on-one. Hey, y'all. According to new reports, central banks around the world may be buying twice as much gold as official reports suggest. Yeah, you heard that right. Twice as much. And get this, they're bypassing traditional markets and buying directly from miners in Asia, Africa, and in Latin America. That means no US dollars, just physical gold. This shift isn't just symbolic, it could be strategic. They could be looking to bypass traditional Western markets. So if central banks are scrambling to reduce their dollar exposure and own more physical gold, should you do the same? That's where the award-winning precious metals company Goldco comes in. Right now, you could get a free 2025 gold and silver kit and learn more how gold and silver can protect your savings. Just go to politibrawlgold.com. Plus, you could get up to 10% back in bonus silver just for starting up. Go to politibrawlgold.com. That's politibrawlgold.com. And that's coming straight from their own mouths. They've admitted that they hit harder, they hit faster, there's more spin on the ball. That's just the reality. And it's okay to acknowledge that reality, but far be it from anyone to say that, oh, men and women are different. The rules are kind of simple. Stay out of women's sports. Give these women their own specific spaces, because it's not fair for them to compete in male-dominated places. It's just not fair. And so, in order to combat this, and this is the part that actually makes me mad about this video, Jasmine Crockett then avoids the entire debate. She avoids it entirely and talks about the Equal Rights Act, all because she's still practicing that stupid left-wing talking point that women are not paid as much as men. In the aggregate, that is true, okay? In the aggregate, women make a little bit less than men. I think right now the number, is 78 cents on the dollar. It is technically risen. But Jasmine Crockett is doing what Democrats do best. They deflect and they deny. And instead of talking about the debate that Marjorie Taylor Greene, the chairman of the Doge subcommittee, has brought forward, Jasmine Crockett is instead screaming, oh, now Republicans care about women? Well, yeah, we do. That's why we marry them, okay? We find y'all attractive. Yes, we care about women. What else is new? Jasmine Crockett is instead trying to deflect and deny the entire argument. Deflect it over from the ideas that, hey, men shouldn't compete in women's sports, to, oh, now you care about women's rights? This is something called moving the goalpost, and I despise moving the goalpost as a tactic in debate. It is essentially saying, I am giving up on this, but I'm not going to let you win. And Democrats will move the goalpost as far as they possibly can. They'll move it outside of the entire stadium if they can get away with it. And we're seeing it here, but I think this is the worst part of the whole video. Talking about abortion rights. Okay, first off, abortion is the death of a human for the sake of expediency. That's 99.5% of the time. There are rare occasions where the life of the mother is in danger and you need to prioritize the life of the mother. That's why a couple of state abortion bans have gone a little too far. And I'm no abolitionist on this one, but Republicans, please, can you please write some better legislation? That's why I'm a huge fan of heartbeat laws. They make sure that there are certain things involved, and we've even written the laws in a way that ensure the life of the mother, And even then, Democrats will run obfuscation campaigns against it, and it's caused people to lose their lives, all because doctors were unsure of a law that they could look up on Google in about 2 minutes. I think that's what annoys me the most about this video, is it's not just the moving of the goalposts, it's not just the deflection. Half of all abortions are female. Okay? Protecting women when they are conceived is a good thing. And Jasmine Crockett doesn't want to do it. And then she wants to turn that against Republicans who are then wanting to protect women's sports. It is an absolutely asinine thing to say. And Marjorie Taylor Greene made her point perfectly, but someone please try to help me understand how Jasmine Crockett and so many other Democrats get to these conclusions. Because they're not logical, they have no basis in fact, and they come completely from the ideas of emotion that, simply put, cloud your judgment. And I think that's the saddest part about this whole video, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.